everybody. Thanks so much for joining us right here on The Right View. Tonight, we're joined by actor, comedian, friend to our family, and currently on tour, Terrence Williams. Terrence, you are a friend to the show. You have been on The Right View before. One of the things that I had to get you on to talk about today was that you have out a new item, and I don't want to spoil it for everybody at home, but if you take a look at Terrence's hoodie, you might be able to get just a sense of what it is if you don't already know. Pancake King, there he is, Terrence Williams. Terrence, welcome back. Just talk for a second, really quickly about the pancake mix, why you decided to do it. I think it's genius.
Well, they canceled Aunt Jemima, and I was devastated because I love
pancakes. Me too, by the way.
Yes, I'm like, listen, Aunt Jemima was the greatest, and I love eating pancakes. Yes, it was that was my favorite food to eat in the morning was pancakes, and I love waffles too. And when they got rid of Aunt Jemima, I ran to every grocery store I could. I mean, I was loading up on boxes and boxes on top of boxes. I picked up a little weight too, but I had to get all those boxes, and I was just so devastated. But a lot of people were really confused on why that happened, because I'm gonna tell you this: I don't think they should have involved her with race, because people of all colors love pancakes, and everyone loved Aunt Jemima, and they took her beautiful black face off of the box. But me being a pancake lover, a waffle lover, I said, you know what? Well, I'm not supporting this change that they made. I'm not supporting that. And that was my favorite brand. So I decided to come out with my own brand that will not be canceled and that everybody can enjoy.
And your face is on the box, Terrence.
Yes, actually, I have the box right here.
Yeah, let's see it.
Pancakes.
There it is. There's your face right there in the front. So let's go back for a moment in case people don't remember, which I'm sure you do. If you're watching the show, you probably know how absurd that all was. Gosh, it must have been like a year and a half, 2 years ago. They started talking about all this nonsense about canceling Aunt Jemima, that it was racist to have her face on the boxes you're talking about. One of my favorite syrups, by the way, and one of my greatest memories from childhood, Terrence, was the Aunt Jemima bottle of syrup. That it was glass. Nowadays, you can't find like any sort of a chain type syrup out there in a glass bottle. But let me tell you something. I remember like Sunday mornings, my parents making pancakes, and the Aunt Jemima, it was the full shape of her body in the glass. It's so nostalgic, I think, for so many people. And it was always the one that I bought when I was at the store. My kids have had Aunt Jemima pancake mix since they're still young, but since really they were able to eat as babies. Yeah. And they have now renamed it the Pearl Mill Company.
Oh my goodness.
And honestly, the first time that I had to, and I bought it because I need a pancake mix. No more. I know what I'll be buying, Uncle T's. But the first time I went to the grocery store and I saw that it was Pearl Mill Company instead of Aunt Jemima. And by the way, the box is terrible. There's nothing interesting about it. It's like a red box. Yeah. I was so upset because, the idea of canceling something, because so you're telling people that to present someone in such a great position. By the way, it's a really cool thing to have your face on the pancake box like yours is now. And you're really celebrating this person, to be honest. That was somehow racist. Did you ever understand that argument, Terrence?
No, listen, I did not understand it. And I said, how are these pancakes racist? So I cooked me up a whole batch. I cooked the whole box. I had like a stack of like 16 pancakes. I said, let me see if these taste racist. And I was eating them. I said, these taste so good. It don't taste like racism to me, and I don't even know what that tastes like. But if this is what it tastes like, then it tastes good. But I said, these pancakes are not racist. Lord, people just don't have anything to do with their time.
That's probably
because
right.
Who wakes up in the morning and decides they want to cancel a pancake box? Like, you don't have a life. People need a life, Lord. They need to go out. Like, go find something to do. Go to the movies. Go on a date. Like, go have some fun.
Go walk your dog. Go do something.
you know.
I've got plenty to do. I've got 2 kids. If somebody needs something to do, come over to my house. I have plenty of tasks for you at my house. But it wasn't just Aunt Jemima, Terrence. They also did it, remember, to Lando Lakes, and they just took the girl off the actual box of butter, and now I think it's just a lake, and there's nothing, again, interesting on the box. The whole idea of canceling all this stuff is just outrageous, and I feel like you're right. I think like maybe it's just people seeking out things to be upset about and be outraged by, and it just feels so phony and stupid. And at a certain point, you cancel everything, and life is just boring, right? Like
exactly. You know, I think what it is, you know, right now in America, a lot of people, you know, we are getting like people normally get along, okay, on both, like white and blacks get along. We get along, okay?
Yeah.
And people are trying to divide us and segregate us again. Right. So they're trying to find things to make whites hate blacks and to make blacks hate whites. So they don't, and it's hard to separate us because, you know, we are united. So they come up with dumb things like, oh, Terrence, you should be pissed off. Did you know that white people are buying a pancake box with a black woman on it? Terrence, please be mad at white people.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
So crazy.
Yeah. And then they came for the butter. Listen, don't mess with my butter, okay? Don't mess with my butter. If they take butter away, I'm gonna have to sell my house to invest in butter because
that's the next investment, maybe.
Yes. But Laura, I want everybody to be able to enjoy Cousin T's. Cousin T's has taken over.
I said Uncle T's, Cousin T's.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Some people get it mixed up. Listen, you call me uncle, you can call me cousin. We family. You know.
That's right.
Yes, but
so wait, Terrence, if people want to order their own Cousin T's pancake mix, how do they do it?
They can go to cousintees.com. So
okay.
Yeah,
you ship to all 50 states?
Yes, all 50 states. I ship to all 50 states.
By the way, it's a great time of year to get, I don't know anyone that wouldn't love to get a Cousin T's box of pancake mix or several as a Christmas gift this year. Yeah. By the way, just to fight back against cancel culture, because that's, so everybody go to cousintees.com, order your box of pancake mix or several of them. I certainly am planning to do that because I think people are just getting so sick of the nonsense, Terrence. I think people are just like, at a certain point, like we have to just get outside of this craziness. I don't understand how people are continuing to push us down this path, but I think what you said was spot on. I think it's about dividing us up because they truly want to ultimately change America. And the only way you're going to do that is by separating people, by telling us that this is a racist country, by telling us to hate America. And then you're not going to ultimately fight back when they start to make the changes that we probably would have pushed back on some time ago. But I want to ask about you a little bit more because you've never bowed down to the cancel culture, Terrence. In fact, you actually seek a lot of it out. And if you don't follow Terrence on Instagram and Twitter, your Instagram is so funny. And I love whenever I catch a new video that you made. You go out there and you find the crazy stuff and you just laugh at it. And gosh, it's actually so refreshing to see that because we need more laughter. We need to stop taking things so seriously, like butter and pancake mix. But tell me about these videos that you do, and when do you know you have a good video that you're gonna use and kind of laugh at?
You know, it just happens that a lot of people on the left give me a lot of great material. It's like they hand me material on a silver platter. I mean, it's so crazy. I mean, people are just losing their minds. And what I do is instead of just, being angry, I just laugh at the foolishness. I laugh at these people who are trying to divide us, these people who come up with crazy ideas like canceling butter, canceling brown rice, canceling pancakes. So I just laugh at these people because, Laura, it is so much going on in this country. Bad things are happening all the time. We cannot always be mad. We have to laugh at some of this stuff because some of it is so crazy. I can't help but laugh. It's so crazy. This is really, you are really this ignorant. Like, you really don't have any brain cells? Like, you really don't have common sense? Sometimes it's so crazy that I can't do anything but laugh because we can't change these crazy people. They're going to be crazy.
That's probably true.
And so I like to bring fun to this political environment. You know, I talk about politics all of the time, but I also want to bring laughter, lighten people up a little bit. Let's have fun. Yeah. You know, I know things are crazy, but let's have a little fun.
Well, and you also, I notice on your Instagram that often people will send you like direct messages and you actually write back and then you post what you say back to them. And it's actually, does it catch them off guard because you actually respond to them?
Oh yeah, they're always caught off guard.
Like these people are really being very nasty to you and hoping to upset you. And you make it into a joke and actually respond back to them. It's really genius, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they attack me all the time, and they never expect me to respond. But also they don't expect me to respond in a positive way.
Right.
And I always respond back, and most of them laugh. They say, "Okay, I'm sorry. You know, oh, that's funny. I have to admit." Like someone called me a cracker lover, and I said, "Yeah." So I went to the store. And, you know, because I had a bunch of free time at the moment. So I said, let me go to the store. I bought a bunch of saltine crackers. And I took a picture and I laid in bed. And I had all these saltine crackers around me. And I sent the picture back and said, yes, I do love crackers. I am a cracker lover.
It's just so good. It's so good. And these people never think. They think you're going to see it, Terrence, and they do it to all of us too. And they think that you're going to be like, oh, that just ruined my day. Meanwhile, you're like, you know what? You just gave me some more material. Let me go buy a box of saltine crackers. I love it. It's so good. For people that don't know your story, I know you've kind of told us your story on this show before, but just tell me again. You literally started out in foster care. Your life started out, you know, a little bit rough. And then you went from that to the White House, you meeting the president of the United States. You wrote a book about it.
Right.
Tell people a little bit about your background.
Man, Laura, we're going to be here all day.
I know. We've got like 4 hours for the show.
It's a lot. So I grew up in foster care. Sadly, my mother had a sickness. She was addicted to drugs. And she had 9 children, a single mother, addicted to cocaine. And she was just unable to take care of us. And I still love my mother. I love her, you know. She had a sickness, but she was unable to take care of me and my siblings. So I ended up in foster care at a very early age. I think I was in my first foster home before kindergarten. So I was living in children's shelters before I was in kindergarten. So I was bouncing from shelter. I went from the children's shelter from the to the foster house, from this foster house to that foster house, and was just bouncing all over the place. But you know what? That was a hard life. But I had God in my life. You know, I had God. I found Christ, and God got me through all of it. God was there with me when I didn't have a brother, when I didn't have a sister, when I didn't have my mother and my father. I had God. So at the end of the day, He got me through the hard times. And that's also where I get my comedy from, because I learned to laugh. You know, I was going through so much. I had to find some kind of happiness. So I learned to laugh, and I learned to put God first. And with this being the greatest country in the world, regardless of me going through foster care, I was able to, you know, turn out great, you know, and
you did.
I was able to turn out great because this is the greatest country. And I don't know how. Listen, people ask me, Terrence, like, how did you not end up in the streets or end up, you know, there were times where, you know, I wanted to be a bad boy, where I wanted to be a thug, you know. But I'm not a thug, Laura. I'm really a pancake cooker. I love pancakes.
I know. I'm not really a thug. Are.
Yeah, I'm not meant to be that.
Warm and soft inside like a pancake.
Yes, exactly. I was not flipping drugs. I was flipping pancakes. So I decided to go that route, you know. But Laura, this being the greatest country, and I was able, regardless of me going through foster care, I was still able to, you know, make something of myself. I was still able to chase my dreams, regardless of the color of my skin, regardless of me going from foster house to foster house. I was still able to become a successful young man. And that's thanks to this country and also thanks to God first. And it's been such a ride. It's been such a journey. And I also went from the foster house all the way to the White House.
Yes, it's so amazing.
All the way to the White House. And I just still can't believe it. And Laura, you said, well, Terrence, we talked about your story before. I want to continue to talk about my story because I want other foster kids and kids who have nothing and kids who feel like they, kids who don't have any hope. I want to inspire them and motivate them and let them know that, listen, you can be whoever you want to be. You can become that doctor, that lawyer. You can become that singer, that dancer, because this is America. And regardless of where you come from, regardless of the color of your skin, your dreams can come true in this country. And I am living proof of that because I made it from the foster house to the White House. Like,
it's so true. It's so true, Terrence. But don't you feel like there are a lot of people who don't want that to be America anymore? I mean, there really is this victim mentality that continues to be pushed on our society right now, telling everyone they're a victim, telling everyone, well, your circumstances are bad, so you probably are going to end up like this. But you are so spot on with what you said about America, and it is one of the few places in the world where it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you start, it doesn't matter what you have. If you are willing to work, then there is no limit to the success you can have in America because of the system that we have here, because of the country that we are here. And there are people that, instead of it being a capitalist system that allows for that sort of expansion and, unlimited potential of people, there are people that want to change America into a socialist country. So they continue to push this victim mentality. Well, you need to rely on the government for more. Well, you can't do this on your own. Well, you're this, that, or the other. So you're disadvantaged and you might as well not try. You're right. I think more people need to hear your story, Terrence, because it truly is. I mean, you're an example of the American dream. You're an example of how great this country is every single day. And we need to keep that going. We need that for our future generations. So I hope everybody can share, this podcast, but share your story and talk about it with people that might be feeling down, might be feeling like, the world hasn't treated them equally or kindly or whatever they're going through. It doesn't matter, because if you pick yourself up and you work hard, you can do anything you want.
That is absolutely true, Laura. It makes me sick to my stomach when I hear people tell some underprivileged child that, telling them things like you won't be able to make it because of where you come from. Why would you and put negativity in their mind? Why would you do that? When I go to boy homes, when I go to boys' homes and talk to foster kids, when I talk to these young men, to these young boys, I tell them, listen, you can be whoever you want to be. I know what you're going through right now is hard and difficult. No one is saying it's like, no one said it was easy. No one said it's not easy. It's not easy. But if someone,
it's not supposed to be easy.
It's not supposed to be easy.
No.
But you are supposed to motivate these young people. You are supposed to let them know this is America. I understand that you don't have what you want right now, but one day you will. They need to hear that. They don't need to hear, oh, the reason why you're going through this is because 400 years of slavery happened. Like, don't nobody want to hear all that, because that's just negativity.
Right.
People need positivity. People need to have others who have, a positive influence in their life. Mm-hmm. They don't need all the drama and all the victim mentality stuff. Is not going to motivate someone to go out there and work hard. It's going to make them feel like, well, why should I do anything if you say that this is a horrible country and no matter what, that this country will be against me? Why would someone even try if you are?
Exactly. And they won't. And that's the whole goal, Terrence. That's what they want. They want people to give up. They want people to just say, you know what? It's enough. They say I can't make it. I'm not going to try to make it. And so I'll just rely on, the government to get me by. I'll just rely on whatever, little they give me. And then very quickly, you can see how this gets out of control. And when more and more people start to feel that way, then America is no longer the country that we've always known and loved. No, America is no longer the country that allowed you to become the success that you have become. And people have no other choice. And then once you get down that road, you don't come back. The country doesn't come back. It's really scary, actually.
Yes, you have to motivate these young people and people who feel hopeless. I went through foster care, of course, and I was adopted in my late teenage years. I was around 15. And my adopted mother's sister, my aunt from adoption, she was military. She was a sergeant. So she didn't play the whole victim mentality stuff.
I bet she didn't.
And she was actually tougher on me than my adopted parents, which was her sister and her brother-in-law. Mm-hmm. She was tougher on me, and she would tell me, Terrence, you are not a thug. Pull your pants up. Terrence, you will not be like some of your siblings that are in trouble. You will not be like your biological parents. You will not be like that. You will be better. She didn't play all of that. No. Yeah. She understood that it was hard, but she said, you know what? That doesn't what you went through in life. What you went through does not really, define you. You get to define yourself, and you get to be who you want to be. And so she said, Terrence, you will be better. I will not allow you to go down that same road. Why would you want to go down that same road? And, and if I didn't have people like that in my life, I don't know, because, and thank God that I had someone in my life to actually tell me, you know what, you can be better than that. You don't have to go down that road of being a thug and selling drugs, because Laura, I'm not going to lie to you. I grew up in some really, bouncing from foster home to foster home. I went to some really bad schools. I mean,
I'm sure, yeah.
My middle school, we went through metal detectors every day. We had to wear we had to wear see-through backpacks, and when we went into school, we had to put our bags on the table. They went through our bags as we went through the metal detector. So I went to some really bad schools. And that was my environment. So I was around a lot of bad people, and I could have ended up in trouble. I could have ended up in jail, in prison, but
very easily.
Someone in my life to tell me, Terrence, you do not have to be like those people. Don't be a follower. Don't be a follower. What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? Yes. So that's how people should be. They should be people.
Also, I feel like the people sometimes, like your foster aunt or adopted aunt that you're talking about, the tough people on you make the biggest impact in your life. I mean, obviously my parents didn't let us get away with anything, but the toughest coach I ever had, and I've played all kinds of sports my entire life, everything you could imagine, the toughest coach I ever had, believe it or not, was my high school cheerleading coach. Her name is Ruby Sutton. And let me tell you something, she did not play with anybody. She was very serious. If you broke her rules, there were repercussions immediately. But it was because of her that I actually started playing so many other sports, because she made us do a lot of things that I don't think most cheerleading teams do. We did a lot of running. We did a lot of sprinting. We did a lot of different kinds of workouts, and it got me interested in running track and cross country. But the discipline that she taught me, being a cheerleader on her team, honestly, I still use to this day. Yes. It is people like that hold you accountable, that don't let you get away with things and actually make you the best version of yourself, that you never forget, and I think have such an impact on you. And we need more people like that. I will never forget Ruby Sutton for the rest of my life. I mean, and it wasn't just me. Every single person. She was also the girls volleyball coach, the men's tennis coach. Everybody that had her as a coach, believe me, that was a lasting and resounding impact she had on everybody. She was absolutely incredible.
That's amazing.
She may still be at the school. I mean, I don't even want to tell you how old I am and how long ago that was, but
more rubies. We need more. We need more good
we need
people.
More rubies.
We
need
absolutely. More, Laura. A lot of people make this about conservative, liberal, left, right, Democrat, Republican. Really, this is evil versus good. We need more good people like that. Because I'm telling you right now, if I didn't have good people in my life, and if I didn't have God in my life, I wouldn't have been able to make it from the foster house to the White House to meet the greatest president of all times, President Donald J. Trump. Like, come on. Like,
I want to ask you about that really quickly before we go. What was that like? Meeting my father-in-law, meeting the president of the United States, being at the White House. How was that? Was it what you expected? Was it different? Like, what did you think of things?
Well, first of all, I'm still on cloud nine about it, and I feel so blessed and I'm so thankful. Like that's an opportunity that a lot of people don't get at all. Yeah. And when I first met him at the White House, the first thing I was thinking, is this real? Like, this cannot be real. Yeah. And not only that, I've seen him on TV, of course. I voted for him, of course. And I believe that he was, and I didn't need to meet him to know that he was a good guy. But when I met him in person, I was like, wow, he is really down to earth, super friendly. Like, this is like he made me feel like I was at home. Like I didn't want to leave the White House. They had to get me up out of there. When Trump left, they couldn't get me out of the White House. So, but President Trump was just amazing. And people would tell me, Terrence, you know what? I hope you know one day, like, if you meet him, he's not going to like you because they claim he don't like black people. But I met him in person, and he treated me with respect, Laura. And not only that, I met him at the White House. Then I was at a Super Bowl party. He didn't have any reason to do this. He didn't benefit from this or anything. He was spending time with his son and his wife, and he saw me standing up as he was walking in, and he said, and he pointed me out because he recognized me. And to be honest with you, he meets a lot of people, so I wasn't for sure if he would even recognize me. And he said, "Hey, Terrence," he said, "How you doing? They treating you well here?" And I said, "Yeah, Mr. President." He said, "Where are you sitting at?" I said, "I'm sitting like over there." He said, "No, you're not. You're sitting with us. Come on." I was blown away. I was not ready for that. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. I don't even know what to say. Like, that's something you have to prepare for. Like, to sit with the president of the United States of America and don't have an elevator pitch, don't have nothing to say, not prepared. So I'm just sitting at the table and I'm looking at him like, man, I love you. And I'm looking at Melania, I love you. I was sitting right next to Barron. I said, you know what? I said, man, this is just a blessing. And I was just thinking, like, I literally went from the foster house, and there were times where I didn't even have a table to sit at. And I'm sitting with the president of the United States of America. That explains it all. America's the greatest country. Like, where else can you do that? Do you not know, Laura, if I lived in China and I grew up in foster care, didn't have any parents, do you think the president of China will want me at his table when I don't
There's a lot he would want, but none of us would want that. We'll say that.
I know, right?
Wow.
Yeah, he want me at his table. If you go to a lot of other countries, some boy from foster care who grew up with nothing, parents addicted to drugs, no one's sitting with this guy because they can't benefit from me. I'm just a nobody. But President Trump doesn't care who you are. He doesn't care where you come from. All he cares about is you are a good person. Now, if you're a good person, then he like you. If you like him, he like you, So he treats you with respect, and I will forever be grateful. I love President Trump. Actually, when I was thinking about my story of going through foster care, I was thinking, like, am I too old to be readopted? Like,
you want me to talk to him for you?
Like, this is,
I'll put in a good word.
Yeah, put in a good word.
But by the way, what you're saying about him is so accurate. And I mean, I've talked about this any chance that I got, but look, I came into this family as what a lot of people would consider an outsider. I grew up in a middle-class family in North Carolina. I had a very normal upbringing. And when I met my husband, I didn't know who he was, but then obviously we started dating. We'd been dating a little while. And the first time I met his dad, I was really nervous because in my mind, like this was back in the Apprentice days, of course, Donald Trump was still a very big deal. Like that was a household name and he was a very impressive person and he was so down to earth. And it's exactly what you're saying. And really spent more time with me than I ever anticipated and really wanted to get to know me. And just, he treated me like a normal person. And that's all any of us ever want. We just want to be treated, you know, the same as everyone else. And obviously now I've been, you know, my husband and I have been together, my gosh, 14 years now, almost. And so I've been around it a lot, but it never ceases to amaze people exactly what you're saying, that Donald Trump truly, for all he's done, for all he is, for all he could be, is still a very down-to-earth, kind individual. Now, does he call people out when they need it? Absolutely. Will he mean tweet if people get a little crazy? Absolutely. But you know what? He is the same guy that you see out there in front of the camera as he is behind the scenes. And so many people are not like that, Terrence. So many of these, especially politicians, have one face in front of the camera and in front of the media. And then when they get behind the scenes, they're a totally different person. He's the same guy all the time, 24/7. And that's what a lot of people appreciate about him. Before I let you go, I have to ask you about your tour. What do you have going on? Do you have any shows coming up? Anything you want to tell our audience about?
So I do have a show coming up in Houston, Texas on December 4th. And I'm a new resident of Texas, of Houston, Texas. Yes, I live in Houston, Texas now. So I have a show on December 4th. People can find out about that show at terrencekwilliams.com. But really, other than that, I'm just flipping flapjacks, Laura. I'm
doing your pancakes.
You know, screaming, let's go, Brandon, and just loving my country, missing Trump, and flipping flapjacks. I mean, yeah.
Well, I love what you're doing. I love all the success you've had. You have a great book out. You have your pancake mix out. Maybe butter's next. We'll see what's coming down the pipe for you. You're such a great friend to our family. I consider you a friend. And we're just so excited for you and so proud of everything you've done. So keep it up. Keep making people laugh, Terrence. I mean, my gosh, if there's anything that's going to get us through the next 3 years of Joe Biden as president, we need some comedy.
Right. We need a lot of it.
Yes. Amen to that. Well, I want to say thank you, as always, Terrence, for your time. Keep it up. And thank you to our audience, as always, for joining us. We'll see you next time back here for more of The Right View.